Folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Irish Pike and Trout. So my name's Padraig for anyone who doesn't know me, and today is our first day back out in the lake and we're going to fish some dead baits, and we're going to fish them very carefully. I know it's a little bit early, but if you know what you're doing, that's half the battle. If you don't know what you're doing, make sure you have someone with you who does know what they're doing, and that's the way forward. So today we're on a little lake here close to home, and you'll probably see a lot of jacks in this video if they're on. I had a 13-pound fish here before, and we're looking if we can get something in around them same figures. I'll be very happy. But look, it's all about getting out of the house. It's all about engaging with the outside, and it's all about enjoying yourself. You know, if we don't get fish, I've said it before, who cares? We're out and we're enjoying ourselves. So today you're probably going to see a lot of how I rig up dead baits. You're probably going to see a lot of different dead baits that I'm fishing, and I'll probably talk about different methods as well. I'm going to try and focus on keeping them on the bottom today, because that's what I like doing. And when you hear that alarm scream, it's the adrenaline goes through the roof, you know, and you get a good old buzz out of it. But as I said, hopefully we get a few fish. If we get jacks, let it be. If we get a big one, it's a bonus. Stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the video. Right, so the first bait I'm going to set up here today is a bluey. These are very popular. A lot of people love this bait. It's long, it's very silver, it's very smelly. Yeah, hopefully the pike like them as well. So I'm just going to show you what I do here. First thing I do is get the bait out. Right, have a look at your trace. So first hook goes down into the tail here. So you just push that hook down until you hear it pop, and that's you securing the tail. So then you'll be looking at your other hook that is going up in the flank here. You just pop that in there, and then we're going to split the bait, because this is a great way of enhancing your bait. We split it down there, and then this is what you're left with. And we might pump it up with oil as well, but I think we're gonna crack on and see how we get on first. Just like this. And when I'm fishing that, then, and I'm going to fish that because there's a lot of weed in this area, on a little mini ledger stem with a 2 ounce weight at the bottom, and that's just on a running ring. So that's as simple that is. That's our first bait. Second bait then, we might just go with the head of this bluey. Or I'm going to show you here. We've one of these pike packs. These are great. So in this pike pack you get a mackerel, you get 3 herring, so you get 2 natural and 1 dyed red. You get a perch, and then you get a couple of smelt as well. So these are great if you can't make your mind up in baits. Buy these packs. You've got a full mix there, and you can change your baits. I think I might on the other rig go with either the perch or the red herring. But that's what we're fishing with today. So that's the 2 baits out. In the end, I end up going with I went with a bluey tail and a bluey head. So look, we'll give them a run and see how they go. I've heard good reports about blueys. I've never personally used them. I've always used either roach or smelt or mackerel. Yeah, so the 2 baits are out. The 2 baits are out now, and we're praying for fish. So we're praying for fish. This is the first time back in the bank now in this season, so got a little bit excited this morning about this. That's why you have such a mix of baits, and we've the 2 rods out. So the 2 rods are out alarmed. We've got drop off indicators, which is very important. We've the net sitting out here in front of us, so we're not trying to get back up the bank for the net when it's needed. Hopefully it's needed. Yeah, it's a lovely day. There's only one thing here now. There's a bit of, I'm just looking out, there's a bit of algae on top of the water. So I tried to cast the two areas where I don't see any algae. It's coming up around the edges just on the left hand side. So it looks like it's on its way out because it's all brushed up on one side. So hopefully that doesn't shoot us down here today. And apart from that, it's a beautiful day. Why would you want to do anything else? So just stay tuned and hopefully we've some coverage for you. Right, so I'm after losing the bait just out in the middle here to a snag, and quite a big bait it was as well. And I'm just going to give you a little tip that I like doing when that happens. What I've done is I've moved one of my baits to the left and I've moved my other bait over into the right, and I left that area open where I lost the big bait. And because I have the spinning rod with me today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on dragging this lure in over that scented area where that bait's lying. So it's a little tip. If you lose something, that you can still use it, and it's something that I've always done. You know, that bait's lying out there doing nothing. It's probably already lifted, but I'm hoping it's not. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that bait that I lost to, you know, pull this boy around. So in other words, I'm hoping that there's a fish or two out there eyeing that bait up, or has already smelt it and it's dragged them into the area. And that's how you use something that you've lost. I'm going to just start throwing a few casts, and sure, we'll see how we get on. It's a pastime, and in the meantime we can hope and pray that one of these lambs scream. Just gonna leave that fish resting now. This is a big fish. This is a lovely, lovely fish. Yes! What a fish. What a lovely, lovely, lovely fish. Oh, what a result. I'm out of breath. I must have been sitting over dead baits for 3.5 hours. Oh, what a fish. Lovely, lovely, lovely pike. Let's weigh this fish. I'm going to put this fish back in the net and get it rested, and then we're going to get away. £16, 16, 9, 17, £17, £17. What a fish! What a fish! Let's get this fish back. Look at that, what a fish. Oh, for here, this is an absolute stunning fish. This is a great fish for this lake. Yes. Oh, it paid off. I'm absolutely soaking. My welly boots are full. Oh, now that's what you call a fish, especially for here. This lake only really delivers jacks. My biggest here was £13, £17. You've seen it yourself. That fish took a bluey tail on the bottom. I waited 3.5 hours for that fish to take me, and it paid off. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm over the moon. I hope you've enjoyed that. Yes! Folks, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm a little bit calmer now, you can see. But anybody who goes out fishing knows the story. When that adrenaline line hits, it goes through the roof and your head is completely gone. You're buzzing, you're shaking. It's just great. It's just great. That's the catch. That's what gets me back all the time. That's why I love doing this. I'm absolutely buzzing. I didn't expect that fish. You know, coming here this morning in my own head, I thought if I had a fish £8, £9 max, you know, I thought that would have made a great video. It would have made me happy, because it's very hard to hit the bigger fish here where I am today. And to get one £17 is just absolutely stunning. I'm over the moon with it. And not alone that, the conditions of that fish, if you just check back and have a look, I'm going to post a picture here actually at the end of the video. The conditions of that fish was absolutely stunning. I watched the footage back there. The fish was fully finned. The colours were just absolutely out of this world. There wasn't a scar or a mark on the fish. I checked the fish's mouth. It's as if that fish has never even, you know, never seen a hook before. It's just, I'm over the moon with it. I'm buzzing. It was a great fish to have, and it was a great fish to catch for this video for you guys here today. I hope you've picked up all on the little tips that I've been given there today, and hopefully that's going to help someone along the way, you know. And I'm open for any questions. I'm open for any questions, anyone who wants to ask questions, and I'm happy to share what I know, and I'm happy to help other people out, because that's what it's all about. You know, we all need a bit of guidance along the way, you know, no matter if it's fishing or not. But yeah, the places went very quiet. I've actually fished on for about an hour there on just float ledgering, and I've picked up nothing. But I'm happy, you know, I got the fish I wanted today, and I'm over the moon with that. Another thing, just, you know, and I'm not saying here it was dirty this morning, it wasn't. But sometimes you'll go places and you'll find traces lying around. You'll even find old crisp bags, and you know, try and take all that stuff away with you. You know, try and clean up these areas before you leave, because someone else is going to come and fish it, and they don't want to be looking at anyone's rubbish lying around, or they don't want to be standing or sitting on hooks. So just, you know, try and take all that stuff away with you. You've probably seen another little small thing I've done there today. When I netted that fish, the very first thing I done was I released the trace. I always use little quick release clips, and I released the trace and I left the rod sitting where it was. That way I could get the fish up onto the bank and onto the mat without falling over rods that's no longer in your way then, you know. So it's just all them little small things. Try and pick up on them little tips, even when you're out, and if you don't know much about it, try and look at the guy beside you, see what he's doing right. The next time you're out, you do the same. It's, you know, it's a learning process, and that's what it's all about. But look, every day is a learning day. Every single day I'm on the lake or I'm on the river, I'm constantly learning something new, or I'm picking up on something that I should have done when I go home, and the next time I'm out, I'm fixing that, you know. So just try and learn every day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. I'll be doing a couple of more videos now moving forward on my days off from work, and yeah, keep tuning in. If you like it, please subscribe. Give the video a wee share, that'll help me out as well. And check out my TikTok. I have a TikTok page there as well, which is doing really well, and that's just at Irish Pike. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. Have a nice day, and tight lines.